Hello and welcome to another team review. Today I'm gonna showcase a team around Zweilous. I don't even know if you can even say it like this. It's actually a name that's inspired by German counting, so I should actually know that. But like I would say Swellows, people say Zweilous. But I mean, you know what I mean. It's like the stupid dragon with two heads. But we actually played a bit with it today, and it was actually alright. Like I don't see it at all recently, even though it's like kind of high on PvP poke and whatever. But like people are just not really using it. We paired up with Deoxys Defense as a safe swap, and we have Meganium in the back. It makes us kind of weak to Alolan Ninetales on general ice types, which you can kind of have to keep in mind. But I haven't faced a single Abomasnow. I think one or two Alolan Ninetales, which were tough, but I think I even won against one. But yeah, that's basically the main weaknesses. Maybe you can play something different in the back that should be alright, like something different than Meganium. You could argue about using a fire type there, maybe even a Alolan Marowak would make sense. But that depends there. Like I had positive sets with this team all around. I think I used it for like 3 sets or something. I went 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, so it was kind of positive. And yeah, I faced a lot of similar teams today. And like you see here, my opponent I think had like G-Fisk, Pelipper, and Venusaur? Yeah, Venusaur. And yeah, I faced like this team 5 or 6 times on like different variations. Sometimes it's Tropius in the back, sometimes it's Meganium in the back. But this team actually, even though you lose the lead, is really good against it. Like here you see the team again. Because you have basically Deoxys Defense as a safe swap there. They always get baited, by the way, here. I had like, I think in the situation like 4 or 5 times, and I got baited all the time. And once I didn't shield, of course I got hit by an earthquake, but this just happens. But yeah, most of the time the backline of my opponent doesn't really want to see the Deoxys Defense. So if we go into that against the G-Fisk, we can do damage with our counter damage, and then they have to stay in. And with teams like Pelipper or Venusaur on the back, or Pelipper and Tropius on the back, we have Swellows, which resist like both elemental types like water and grass, so we're kind of good against it, and we most of the time win against it. I think we faced a team like 5-6 times and I always won against it. I think other than one time where my opponent switched into Meganium right away, I think that helped him there, but otherwise it was like really easy to play for me. Here my opponent has the G-Fisk against the Meganium. I don't know if he tries to keep the G-Fisk alive. Here he does and goes into Pelipper. I'm just gonna go to my Deoxys. Gonna go for a Thunderbolt here, which definitely gonna KO the Pelipper, and we are able to take this thing out with our Deoxys defense, which is nice. We still have a move start on our Meganium, and this is a good game. Yeah, he surrenders here. Against Super Bowl, we're gonna have Zweilous against Stunfisk, normal Stunfisk this time around. Actually, like, you could try and play this here out. Sadly, it's Mudshot and not Thundershock. Thundershock would be resisted, Mudshot would not. I'm just gonna go for Dark Pulse and then switch out because I think I lose this matchup. And my opponent just stays in, throws a Discharge here, which is fine for me, doesn't really do that much damage. But I think now he goes to Cresselia, and Cresselia is kind of a problem. Cresselia one-shots our Swellows with one Moonblast. Also not the best against our Meganium, so kind of a tough spot right now. And going for another Moonblast. Maybe I'm gonna showcase Cresselia as well. I think it has a lot of play right now in the current meta, so I think that's something I might check out later on. Here I kind of try to farm him down after shielding once, because now he needs like some more energy to get him moving. He has Skarmory in the back, and Skarmory in the back is like horrible for me because I have Meganium. And if you don't get like Skarmory against your Swellows or your Deoxys defense, it's basically game over. There's like the one weakness other than Altaria from Meganium that it just can't beat. But yeah, maybe actually something else than Meganium in the back could actually work better off. Like, I think a Alolan Marowak would be a good alternative if someone wants to try that out. Also resist the fighting type moves, but still you have some problem winning against Azumarill, but Azumarill is not as common right now, I think, so it might be fine. Yeah, it's just basically game over. My opponent has still the mons, but I still kind of want to see how much an Earthquake would do against the Skarmory, because it's only single resisted. Does a decent chunk, like 30%, but yeah. Against our next opponent, we have Zweilous against Fortress. Fortress completely wrecks our whole team. There's like nothing really you can do against a fortress. But when do you see a fortress? Like, it's got a bit more common right now, actually. And I see why. Like, I think it's really cool in the current meta. But, like, it's still not something you should really prep for completely, because it's like not as common as like other stuff. So our team is kind of weak against it, but still Deoxys defense can do something in the new zero shield here, because counter damage does still so much damage, and we actually are able to win this matchup here, and we can realign our Pokemon, which is pretty nice. And there's a common theme around Fortress right now, and that's Fortress, Azumarill, and Politoed. And Politoed also doesn't really want to see our Meganium, and Meganium is basically free here. So I think my opponent has like no play anymore, because he has 2 water types against 1 grass guys, and he's just gonna surrender here. Good game there. So that's the beauty of Meganium right now. Meganium is so underrated, to be honest. Like, it's crazy. Hypnolead, that's definitely really good for us. Pelipper, we could stay in here. I think I'm gonna switch out eventually. Oh, I'm throwing 1 move, okay. But I don't really want to get hit by a Hurricane. Yeah. And I'll try to catch the move on my Deoxys here. Which is fine, it's a Hurricane. Definitely alright. Deoxys is really bad against the Hypno, so I'm fine here. But now I'm getting really low, so I have to throw my move. And if he shields, he can realign his Pokemon, but the game also can do stuff against Hypno, so it's not as bad. Now we're gonna see Hypno again, and most of the time people run Scrafty with Hypno, so I can expect a Scrafty switch in here soon. I can go for a Dark Pulse, which gets a shield or kills the Hypno. It kills the Hypno, and he has Scrafty in the back, so I have to switch out immediately into my Meganium here, so I can get off some Frenzy Plants to finish off the Scrafty here, but it's still gonna be a close game. Scrafty is such a good Pokemon. And we have like both 2 shields, which benefits the Scrafty because counter damage just does so much damage after some power punches, and I still have to shield the power punches, otherwise I'm gonna go down. And this is gonna be still a really close game. But I got an extra roundup in here, which helped me a lot, because now I'm definitely gonna get to another move here. It's 665, I think, for a game to get to the move, so that's a good game. Against our next opponent, we have Zweilous against Stunfisk again. Like, as I said, we saw this team so much today. It's crazy. But it's like, it's definitely decent. I think that's the one time where I don't shield, and of course I get directly Earthquake. Like, it's always the case. If you shield, you get baited. If you don't shield, you don't get baited. But it's okay. I would actually recommend you here to no shield. If it's the team what you expect it to be, like with like either 2 birds in the back, or like Pelipper and Venusaur. Pelipper, Venusaur, yeah. Or Meganium, stuff like that. Both are fine, because then you can just farm all the way down with the Swallows, which is nice. My opponent has something else. Oh, he goes into Venusaur, which is okay for us. If he has Pelipper, we are also fine. We're just gonna go straight into our Swallows. Goes into Pelipper, but he does not even bait here and go straight for the Weather Ball. Weather Ball is resisted, we don't have to shield this. Swallows is kind of bulky, so we are good to go here. You can just go for the Body Slam. He let it go, so I thought, okay, I don't have to throw anymore. I can just shield here and just farm all the way down. There's no reason for me to shield anything, to throw anything anymore, because there's 2 shields. I will never get to 3 moves here. And we can just Dragon Breath everything down here. That's like the beauty of Dragon Breath. It's just like so crazy good if you have shields. Just does so much damage. Our next opponent has Jellicent. Jellicent is also really nice for us. Goes into 90s, yeah. This is like really horrible. I stay in for too long there, in my opinion. Also not really ideal. I tried to catch a move, but didn't really work out. And we have to go into our Deoxys defense here. But Jellicent is also alright for our Meganium, so we don't really have to get the switch advantage back. That doesn't really matter to us. So we can just throw our moose here, and I just want to get that thing low. He throws here. I'm just gonna let it go, I think. And now I'm still not in a good spot, because he has still like a lot of energy, and he gets to energy fast. So my only play here is to farm all the way down to hope that he has something weak against Meganium in the back. So let's see. He goes back into Jellicent here, which is kind of interesting, but I mean, there's this kind of dead weight here for him. And he goes for a move. I know that it was only 4, so it's only a bubble beam. There's no way that's an ice beam or a shadow wall. And he has Medicham in the back. Oh, this team. Usually, Meganium always wins CMP against Medicham, unless Medicham is a one specific CM IV spread. It's 15, 15, 40. It's basically the one that I have at level 44, which could be the case here. But we're gonna see that is the case here. Otherwise, Meganium would always win CMP against Medicham, but this must be a 15, 15, 14 one at level 44. Otherwise, Meganium would always CMP, so that was super unlucky there. It was just like one Medicham with good IVs, we would have been fine there, but no, I guess not. Well, super unlucky. We should have won this game, but hey, kinda, we always have some not that much luck all the time, so that's fine. I don't have to care anymore anyway, I'm legend, so I'm just gonna do it for content and fun. Here we have like the thing where the game is just so good, it's just like walling the G-Fizz, but still Rockside does a lot of damage, so we have to respect that. We can go for the Earthquake right away, and we can get to 2 Earthquake before it gets to 4 Rock Slides, so we're just gonna do that. If you're gonna shield this as well, it's fine for me. But he does not, because we can also still just counter down the thing with our Deoxys defense, but that's fine. We're just gonna switch here, get rid of this thing, and he has Bastion in the back. And this is a good game because we have our Deoxys defense, and Deoxys defense has counter, and counter does like so much damage against Bastion. There's like nothing my opponent can do anymore. And that is a good game. We basically lost nearly every lead right now, but we are still fine. And now we're gonna go into a Swampert lead matchup. Swampert is also alright, especially if he throws here like early. We know that's a Hydro Cannon, there's nothing else it can be. And he switches, I think, right now into Marowak, tries to catch the move. That's really clever to catch a Dark Pulse on a Marowak, but yeah, Marowak is really bad for our backline, so it's really cool that we countered here. We don't have to shield anything here, that's only a Bone Club. He didn't get to 5 fire spins yet. So we're in a really good spot. He goes into Tropius. Tropius is kind of a problem. But we know that he has Swampert in the back, so we can just save our Meganium and you can align our Deoxys against the Tropius. I'm gonna no-shield here. Leaf Blade does a decent amount, but he gonna try to Sack Swap here. He throws a move against me, which is actually okay for me, because I have to shield 1 anyway. Otherwise he would get to a Sludge Wave against the Meganium, so in this case, I'm just going to shield the 1 Hydro Cannon and let this one go. And now we have the Tropius against our Meganium. And this is like actually, even though it's a hard counter, you're going to see we're actually going to be able to kill the Tropius with a Meganium, which is just like so hilarious. It's just the hardest counter to Meganium, but still Meganium doesn't really care. Frenzy Blade is just so broken. And that's a good game. And into the last match, I guess. This is gonna be a Gengar lead. Gengar lead is also really good for Swellows. But he goes into Medicham. I kind of switch out late. Actually, I wanted to switch out way earlier, but the game is really, really laggy and clunky right now. I don't know why. Like, a lot of people complain on Twitter about that as well. Still the same for me. I don't have to care about it, but yeah. Definitely not as good right now. My opponent double shields here, I think, even against our Deoxys defense, which is interesting. So he really wants to get realignment again. I don't really want to shield out with my Deoxys defense. It's just dead weight for me right now. What I should have done here, I think, is switch into my... Yeah, okay, I'd even do that, into my Meganium. Good play on my part. Because I can get to an Earthquake anyway against the Gengar. I have to shield once to respect the Sludge Wave. If there's not the Sludge Wave, he won't get to another one anyway, so... We are fine here, we can go for the Earthquake, and that is good game for the Gengar. And yeah, what does he have in the back? It's a Bastion, and we can get to Earthquake here, so this looks like a really good game for us. I hope you liked the showcase. I think Zweilous has a lot of play right now, actually, even though like people overlook it a bit. Definitely decent Pokemon. And we can get to Body Slam here against the Medicham, and Bastion can't really hold anything against us. So I hope you have a great day, and I see you in the next video.